Welcome back to JAFM Audio. I'm Frank.
I'm James.
And today we are discussing the state of the New York Mets. James, how are you feeling right now? About 20-something games into the season.
Yeah, well, we're 26 games into the season, not counting today, Sunday, the 28th of April. The Mets are 13-13.
500?
I'm okay with it. I'm fine with that.
You sure?
Well, I didn't think they were going to be world beaters and be, 20-6 right now. But they are a 500 team. I'm happy about that. That's where I actually expect them to be. That's where I want them to be. I believe, once again, if we can hover around 500, come towards the trade deadline, we can better evaluate the team and then maybe make a decision. Do we add some pieces, or maybe, you know what, let's stay pat here. Let's trade away some pieces and then maybe get a little bit, a couple more prospects going into the 25 season. But I am going to tell you what I'm tired of.
Let me hear it.
Okay? What I am not going to tolerate, and unfortunately I do not have a say because I'm not in the front office of the New York Mets, I cannot see the same thing every game. And it's starting to get to that point with certain players. Adrian Hauser, for instance. I don't want to see him again. I'm telling you right now. Bring up someone from the minor leagues, whether it's Christian Scott, who's been doing really well in the minor leagues. It don't have to be Christian Scott. It could be someone else. I don't want to see Adrian Hauser. The team's in a hole 4-0 in the first inning. It puts a lot of pressure on the offense. I don't want to see it anymore. I think we got to a point where we know what he is already. He's a 500 pitcher. I think he's below that in his career. 0-3 this year with an 8.37 ERA. He averages 4.5 innings per start, 4.6 innings per start.
That's terrible for a starter. You don't want that.
You're putting so much on the bullpen, so many innings on the bullpen. His fastball velocity is down from the years past. He's under 500 in his career. So it's not like you're going to catch magic in a bottle with him and he's going to go 15-5 this year. I mean, granted, most of the damage came against the Braves and the Dodgers, but even watching him pitch yesterday against the Cardinals, he just doesn't have it. He's just not that good. That's someone who I don't want to see anymore. I'm tired of it, If this is going to be a season where we see what our young kids have, bring the young kids up.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
I agree. Hauser. There's point one. Hauser, no go. James wants him out.
I don't want to see Hauser anymore. Okay? Jeff McNeil, he's starting to get to me, dude.
I thought that was your guy.
I like him. I like him. He's a good guy. I cannot see 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, couple foul balls, and then he pops up shallow right field and he looks up to the sky like, please. This guy, if he's not hitting 300, he is useless to the team. I'm telling you right now, he's not a great fielder. He doesn't have, very good range at second base. He's an average left fielder, I guess, when they put him out there. He's not stealing bases. I don't want to see him. If he's not batting 295, 300, he's useless to the team. All right?
That's a pretty bold statement. I know that was your guy, McNeil. And it's surprising,
Well, listen.
It's a bit early in the season, but James, the season is
he's 32. He's 32 years old. Okay, is he someone we're gonna win with in 2025, 2026? I don't know. If he, we're starting to see what he has during the course of a full season. Yeah, he's won a batting title, right? He had the highest average in the league one year in the National League, and he hasn't come close since. And if he's not hitting 300, he don't hit for power. He don't steal bases. He doesn't walk a lot. His defense is not great. If he's not hitting 300, I don't need to see it anymore. Bring somebody else up. He may be a chip that they trade away at the trade deadline this year.
Interesting,
Yeah. Lindor, he's been struggling.
Yeah, that's a big one too. Yeah. Lindor has not been hitting good at all.
He had a home run today, so he has 5 home runs on the season, which is not terrible. There are a lot of players in the league in the power department that are not getting it done. It happens. I believe he'll get his average up. He's batting below 200 right now. His defense just is amazing. His defense is great, so that's something that we can deal with. But in terms of his slumping from the left side, especially the left side, it's been hard. But I think he's gonna come through.
You think he's gonna regroup
Yeah.
Start pulling through, start getting some hits.
Listen, he had a 4-hit game in the win against the San Francisco Giants last week.
That was a big game for him.
You figure, all right, he's coming around. But then he goes against the Cardinals. He goes 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts. He comes up in the ninth, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. The Mets are down by 3, and it's set up for him. Here comes the turnaround for the magical season.
Yeah.
And he pops up. He's just looked lost. But he has a history, and he knows what he's doing. He's going to be all right. But right now, it's bad. We know it's bad.
Yeah.
We get it. But as long as he don't take it onto the field, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's been looking good.
So, a lot of... I see you're pointing a lot of negatives this early on in the season.
Yes.
James is already stressed out.
Yes.
Any positives, or do you have any more negatives you want to get at? Or do you have any positives maybe that you're seeing early on that, look encouraging?
So there are a lot of positives right now going on with the Mets. I know the record doesn't show it 13-13, but there are a lot of positives going on right now. But I want to get out the way. JD Martinez, he's missed the whole month of April, right? He missed 26 games.
Yeah, you guys were waiting for him for 2 months to show up.
Well, a month, but it's the whole month of April. But he comes up. They call him up. He DHs for 2 games. He looks good, by the way. He looks like the best hitter on the team. Hits the ball hard, opposite field. He missed a home run by about 2 feet. And then he takes a day off. He don't take the day off, but they give him the day off. I mean, this guy, he didn't have a spring training, so he didn't play. All right? He goes to the minors. He plays a few games. Great. Comes up, plays 2 games, has, I think, 8 at-bats. Mm-hmm. He's 3 for 8, which is good.
Yeah.
And then they have him on the bench. I don't understand. He's not even on the field when he's playing.
They're trying to control his output. He's an old guy, James. You know
what? Come up and play. And when he immediately contributes to the Mets right away. He contributes to the offense.
Yeah.
He goes 3 for 8. Has an RBI, like I said, misses a home run by 2 feet. Mm-hmm. He looks good. He looks all right. So you know what? Let him play. Stop giving him the day off. He don't need days off. He's had the days off already.
Yeah, I mean, all he does is hit. He doesn't play the field.
Right.
That's all he's there for is just to hit.
Right.
How much effort does it take to hit and then run around the bases a couple of times a game?
Right. I mean, if you're running. I mean, he had a double the other night. He had a single. He didn't really have to run much. He's not going to steal any bases. So, I mean... hit the ball hard enough, you don't have to run that hard anyway.
Yeah, what sucks about that situation is he's actually making an impact when he does play. So he's somebody you want to see play consistently every game.
Yes.
Because he gives that boost to your lineup every game. And without him in the lineup, it's tough because you're missing a big bat in there. So hopefully, do you know why he wasn't, starting today, or was it just...
he came to pinch hit. He came up to pinch hit in the ninth, and he popped up to shallow center field.
Yeah. So
I'm sure it was just a day off.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting.
That, yeah.
I don't get it.
Questionable management from the Mets.
I'm sure it's not the manager's call. I'm sure it's the front office, but that's another story. But he's been a positive so far. I mean, it's a very small sample size, but he's been a positive for the Mets. Mm-hmm. I believe he's probably one of the better hitters on the team.
Already in just, a couple games.
He puts the ball on the bat, hits the ball hard. He goes, if it's pitched low and outside, he smacks it to right field. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do as a hitter. Pete Alonso, he's been positive, right?
Yeah.
He's hitting for a decent average, 250. He has 7 home runs on the year.
Yeah.
His RBI total is, I think, 12. I mean, how can you have 12 RBIs with 7 home runs? It's beyond me. I mean, that
means there's no one on base.
That's exactly what it means.
That means there's no one on base.
And that's another killer. I mean, if Lindor and Nimmo can get on more often, and Alonso can have 7 home runs with 21 RBIs, but it's just it's not there.
Who's to say too? Because they're not getting on base, they're not really giving. He'll get more pitches to hit if there's guys on base. Put the pressure on the defense and the pitcher to throw strikes because you can't walk. Nobody wants the bases loaded, The guy's
never been protected in his career. When you look at the guys who've protected Pete Alonso, I mean, some of them you're going to be like, who? He's never really been protected throughout his career. JD Martinez now can offer that protection.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens with that. All right? Another good, Tyrone Taylor.
That's your guy. That's your new guy.
Tyrone Taylor. He hits the ball hard. Every time. He's batting 321 on the year, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. His OPS is at 842, which is impressive for Tyrone Taylor.
Very.
Plays the outfield positions. He's only 30 years old. So this is a guy that you look and say, hey, you know what? He ain't going anywhere. Maybe he's coming into his own now at this time of his career.
You know, he could be that another spark bat, you know, throughout the lineup.
Yes.
He could, you know, he hits the ball very well.
Yes.
I know that's encouraging for you to see what, you know, how the season plays on for him.
Yes. He right now, he's one of my favorite Mets right now, Tyrone Taylor. 100%.
Tyrone Taylor.
Yes.
You heard that? McNeil got replaced.
McNeil's driving me crazy. I'm so tired of the 1-2 and the 0-2 and more positive. Starlin Marte. He's looked good. I mean, he's on the bereavement list right now. But he's looked really good early on. Remember, last year we missed Starlin Marte. He was our number 2 hitter. It seemed like when he went, the team went. And you notice it when he's not in the lineup. You notice it. The team just doesn't look whole. And this happened last year too. He already has 8 extra base hits on the year. He's slugging .442. The Mets just need to keep him healthy and on the field. That's the main objective with him. 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, on base 327. Not looking bad at all. He looks good. Remember, he's on the walk year of his contract as well.
He's looking to get paid.
Well, that's one thing. He's looking to get paid. And let me tell you this: if he does really well, and the Mets start to fall further behind, you know, in the wild card or in the division, they're already behind in the division. I believe like 6 games. But if they fall behind more in the wild card, that's definitely a big chip to trade. We need guys. You need guys to play good. So when the deadline does come around, depending on what the record's looking like, do we got pieces to trade? Do we got people we want to keep? Correct.
So that it's huge that guys play well early on.
He's definitely going to be one. Brett Beatty. He's another positive. Listen, he's not hitting like I think he can hit or maybe will hit eventually, but his defense has looked great. And he looks like he has some confidence now, which is big. So, Brett Beatty, allow this kid to play. I don't care if they're throwing lefties. He has, I think, 1 home run on the year, and it was against the lefty. So let him hit against the lefties. Let him hit against the righties. Let him hit against tough pitches. This kid don't need days off. He's still young. Let him play. Let's see what we have going into next year. The main objective here is I don't want to see the team say, well, you know what? We're not going to go after, I'm just throwing a position, right field, because we don't really know what we have yet, because we do have this guy, and he's been playing well, but he didn't play enough. There's no room for that anymore.
Yeah.
There's no room for that anymore. Find out what you have. And if you don't have it, you go get it in the off season.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I love, you know, your opinion. I love this insight, and I love hearing the Mets complain about the Mets. This is just amazing. The Mets fans complain about the Mets. So
go ahead.
What would you rate the Mets' start to the season, 26 games in, out of 10?
1 through 10?
Yeah, 1 through 10. If you had to put a rating on it, what would you rate their start 1 through 10?
I would probably. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's tough. They started 0-5.
Yes.
Since then, they're 13-8. They went to LA. They won 2 out of 3, which I was shocked. So you're like, let's go. Let's get 4 out of 6 on the West Coast trip. Then you lose 2 out of 3 to the Giants. So it's one of those up and down seesaw. Then you come back home against St. Louis, and you're like, all right, let's go now. It's getting warmer. St. Louis is here. They're not that good. They're below 500. You lose the first 2 to St. Louis. And as I speak right now, they're losing 2-1 in the bottom of the 11th with a runner on third. And so they're at a point here where they can possibly be swept within the next couple of minutes. I'm going to give them a 5. Because they're 500.
That's fitting.
They're 500.
You know, a lot of goods and a lot of bads in their start.
Yeah, so I give them a 5. As we speak right now, actually, they just won the game against the Cardinals. Mark Vientos walked it off with a 2-run home run to center field. So now I give them a 5.5 because they're a game over 500. But Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, Alvarez, unfortunately he's on the disabled list, or the injured list. But let the kids play. I don't need to see Nido anymore, Tomas Nido. I don't need to see Adrian Hauser. I don't need to see it anymore. And I'm sure the Met fans are getting frustrated with that as well.
Yeah.
Okay? So, yeah, they're game over 500 as we speak, 14-13. you can't be mad if you're a Met fan right now. You can't be mad. You gotta be somewhat, happy with a being a game over 500.
Are you optimistic for the rest of the season?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna take this week by week.
All right.
I'm gonna take a week by week.
How are you feeling this week?
We had a decent West Coast trip. We went 3-3. Mm-hmm. We just lost 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals, but we got the game. We walk-off win by one of our youngsters. Mm-hmm. Listen, he was called up, I believe, because Marte went on the bereavement list for 3 days. So, you know what? He may not want to go back down to the minors. Maybe he's showing, hey, I'm here and I'm here to stay. I have no problem with getting him in the starting lineup and seeing where we go from there. And he can play in multiple positions.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. For the rest of the season, we're going to take it week by week.
Yes.
And see how they do.
Yes, guys, give us a like, subscribe if you like. And we're going to have content every week. And we're also going to throw out some short videos as well. Thank you so much for watching.
Take care, guys. We'll see you on the next one.